What you say, what you say, what you say. I am Tim A. This is my favorite part of the week. I get to talk about movies, but I'm Tim A from the 242, the Bahamas. We have my Puerto Rican homie, Brian Fonseca. Did I get the Fonseca right?
Yes,
Did I
sir.
get
This is the fourth different. I've sat in the same seat every episode we've done, and this is like the fourth or
this
fifth
is the
different
fourth?
location that
The
you've
first
been
episode
in.
was my house. Then I was in Freeport. Then I was in my daughter's room. Now I'm by work. I can't keep still. So as you got,
And before we get started, listen. Bam Adebayo, the we're gonna get to that, okay? We're gonna save that for our sports
yeah,
show
so
on
stay tuned for
Monday.
next week.
We're not dissing, we're not avoiding that or whatever. The network's got it covered. We
Yeah,
are going
especially
to
it's
have
gonna be we're gonna hear a lot of conversation, but that it's
yes,
gonna be from us right now.
yes,
You
but
let it
we're
simmer up and then
trying to keep our schedule with the sports on Monday and then the non-sports later in the week. So yeah, just had to get that out there so that people know.
so it's the last month of the year, as you guys know. If you follow me, if you don't follow me, you should see my name there sometimes. I really like movies. Like I spend a lot of my time reading about movies and TV shows. I go as deep into production of it, who gets casted. So I'm usually about a year into like these movies, these shows, right? So December usually it used to be like a dud month for movies, right? But recently it's been like a boon. So we'll start with Spider-Man. So I know Brian isn't as much of a nerd as me, but he did watch Tobey Maguire movies.
This is why this is gonna work out.
Right. So
I saw the OG like the first three Spider-Man
right.
movies.
So I want your opinion. Talk to me. So just a preface.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2, pre-Marvel, pre-other stuff. Spider-Man 2 was regarded as a top 3 comic book movie of all time. Like before we got into the Endgame and Infinity, people used to tout number 2 as one of the best of all time. How do you feel about the first trilogy?
I remember two being the best of the three for sure. I remember two standing out to me the most. I remember three being the weakest, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that's also now. So 2 was like one of the best ever.
I think three was kind of
like one of the worst
controversial.
ever. Yeah,
Yeah, three was kind of controversial, if I remember correctly, because I remember and that was back when I was going to movie theaters, which I don't really do as much now these days. See, we we have a gun control problem here in America,
that's
Timmy. So, like, you
you don't
know,
say.
even though I'm in New York, you know what I'm saying, where like you get really reprimanded if people find out you have one. I'm just not like I'm the person who I'm like I just want to see stuff from the crib, and I'm a documentary person
So
anyway,
do
as
you
we
do you
talked
have
about.
like a sound bar at home or?
No, a couple extra speakers, you know, for like
Well,
surround sound
I asked
purposes.
the wife for a sound bar for Christmas and a speaker, so you'll see if that happens.
In time for Christmas.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
what?
but yeah, two was the strongest to me if I remember
Right,
correctly. And one of my favorite comedians, Joey Diaz, was in one of the movies also,
right,
which is hilarious. I don't remember which one, but he was in that.
right.
But yeah, no,
So the
Spider Man
reason why
Two was dope.
I
And I'm
bring up
also familiar with the video games too. So there's
I
that part
love
of
the
it
video
too.
games. I hope Marvel goes that route sooner. So reason why I bring up number 2 is that Dr. Octavius he's going to be in this movie, the same actor, the same thing. So basically, Spider-Man No Way Home is I think
Which you made
borrowing.
me see the trailer of.
I
The
forced him.
trailer was interesting.
I
I
forced
ain't
him
gonna
to.
lie.
Yeah.
Listen,
So
is it gonna? Do we know where it's gonna be? Is it only theaters, or is it gonna be like an HBO
no,
Max and theaters thing?
just the years because so Sony did a deal with Netflix,
Okay.
but that deal doesn't take place until after this movie. So after this movie, all Sony movies like Morbius and all this type of stuff, they'll go straight to Netflix.
So
Sony's
if I want, what you're telling me is that I can wait until this is on Netflix and then watch it.
no, it will be spoiled. You will not enjoy the movie, Brian. It will be spoiled. Do not wait. In short, this movie is going to. So did you watch the cartoon Into the Spider Verse?
Oh, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was so dope. It has. I mean, you should. Your Miles Morales is half black, half Spanish. Like you should.
He's
You
Puerto
should
Rican. Yeah, he's
yeah,
Puerto
you
Rican.
should
That's
love.
why. But that I've played some of the game. I didn't have it. My boy, one of my close friends had like it was old school where like I went over his crib because he lives a few minutes away, and
Yeah,
I got to see the game and we played a little bit. Story mode was mad short, but it was really interesting.
yeah.
It was
So
really
I didn't
interesting.
buy that because I intended to buy a PS5, and then COVID happened, and I still haven't bought a PS5 yet. So
Me neither.
I should have bought the game. But so
Some
when it comes
sweeping going
to
on by you, right?
yeah, I know, sorry, pardon it. So the
We keep it moving.
Octavius is going to actually be in this movie with this new Spider-Man. So basically, did you watch Doctor Strange? Did you even watch Doctor Strange? No,
I
yes.
know of it. I know of it.
So basically, in short, it's basically one of my favorite Spider-Man comics of all time. Basically, where his identity is they snitch on him, so that everyone knows he's Peter Parker, and he goes to Doctor Strange. So in the comics, he actually went to Mephisto, which is the devil, to erase all the minds of everyone who knows he's Peter Parker. So in the comics, everyone forgets, even his aunt, and like a bunch of bad stuff happens. Naturally, Disney, Marvel's on my Disney. They're gonna have a big blockbuster movie with the devil as the main point. So they're gonna use Doctor Strange. He asked Doctor Strange to basically erase the memory of everyone in the world, knowing he's Spider-Man. And then he realized, oh, my best friend, my girlfriend, he fucks up the spell and he brings all these villains. So we read the villains from the old Tobey Maguire movies, the villains from the Andrew Garfield movies, and his old villains. The fight him is going to be pretty dope. It's broken every non-Avengers pre-sales record for theaters. So it's now the third most bought movie of all time. But you can't count Avengers because Avengers is that's like monumental. So if you take Avengers, this is the most bought movie of all time pre-sale.
And correct me if I'm wrong too. The trailer looked like it was gonna. I mean, you kind of hinted at this just now too. The trailer looked like it was gonna go a darker route.
Yeah, basically these guys are doomed to die, and Spider-Man just let them die. But Spider-Man has a heart. Like I can't let them die. I gotta like save them. So he's gonna like battle morally with Doctor Strange. Like I can't let them die. So it's pretty dope.
Can we make happier movies in COVID? I can't say that because I wrote a book that has like to do with like
so
a lot of social issues and things of that nature. So whatever.
So I actually want to
add right behind me
to this show we have, which is called What You Watching. So, but I'm gonna add what I'm watching to our game later on. So I'll come back to that. What I watch recently, that I want you to watch. So I bring them back.
Okay.
And the next movie for December with Brian I'm pretty sure Brian knows is The Matrix.
Yes, which I've seen also.
So we know we had part 2 and 3. I think it was Reloaded and Revelations. What I've heard is that those two don't really factor in this. So if you watch the OG, it's basically trying to be like a continuation of the OG. So what's your thoughts on The Matrix? Like, so I don't know. I know over here we used to call everything slow motion The Matrix. Was that a thing for you guys too?
Yes. Yeah. No, it was a thing forever. Like it was something that we will always reference.
Yeah, so
and it's something that we haven't done in a long time, which is why I was actually very shocked when I was listening to Nas's album and Lauryn Hill, who we haven't heard from in a long time, in her verse on Nobody, had a line about Keanu in The Matrix, and I was like, I haven't heard a Matrix reference in a minute, but that is something that we grew up like, we would mock it on playgrounds if we were playing basketball during the park, whatever the case may be. Like this is like 10, 15 years of this or something like that. Until
so this movie is supposed to be a direct sequel from that movie, which is like 20 years ago.
So I might watch this one.
Yeah, so
I'm intrigued at how they're gonna do it.
I can't pronounce his name, but Yahya Abdul. He basically played Black Manta, Candyman. He was in Black Mirror. He's Morpheus, but they're saying it's not really a younger version. There's like an altered version, and today they actually dropped. And we're recording this Wednesday night, guys. They dropped a new trailer that basically shows that like the characters that we know, not really older, but really different. So maybe it's supposed to be Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus, and turns him into. But basically,
You can't say Lawrence Fishburne's name around me without me giggling a little bit.
Why?
His daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, we could leave that one right there. Yeah. If you know, you know. But just be careful when you Google certain things.
Do you guys have a 4DX theater in New York?
Do we have a what in New York?
4DX theater.
Probably.
So 4DX just basically means like fourth dimension. So you get the smells, the sounds. So I like to watch movies like The Matrix and Fast and the Furious in 4DX because you can imagine like in your chair, someone gets shot, you smell the blood, you get shot, you get So I watched Overwatch, which is like a zombie movie. You actually have the smell of like dead zombies coming through the
They splatter shit on you?
No, they don't splatter it, but they have the smell. So it smells bad, like old blood. I watched Aquaman in 4DX. They actually got like pretty sick because if you watch Aquaman, it's like a lot of water. So every other scene, water is dispersed. And it was December, so I got sick from watching Aquaman in 4DX.
You got sick for? Oh my
Yeah,
god!
man. Because so I watched. I know I worked at the theater. I got off like midnight. So I leave in there. It's cold. My head is wet. I got sick. Yeah, man.
I want to see, yo. Now you're making me think because I
So like,
haven't. I haven't.
if there's lightning in the movie, the lights flash like lightning. If there's wind, you get wind. If the car crash, your seat yucks forward. Like I
I'm
like.
now trying to think of like what are the movies or documentaries or shows that I would want to watch in this same experience and act
But
like I'm
I
in.
definitely watch Fast and Furious in 40X.
Nothing too extreme. Like The Last of Us is coming to HBO, and if
Right.
you play the video game like I have, both
Yeah.
parts, um, yeah, I would not want to see the 4D or 4X, 40X. What's it
40X.
called?
40X.
40X. I
Yeah.
would not want to see the 40X version of that because it
Yeah.
is very like you'll see this when it's on HBO if they do it like the way it was in the game. And this isn't spoiling anything. And it's HBO, so they can pull this off. It is extremely violent for
Yeah.
good reason too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is extremely violent. So I don't know if I'd want that sort of experience. I mean, uh, like Grand Theft Auto is like playfully violent. It's a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's like cartoonish and you could respawn after you die. The Last of Us is a lot more grim. So maybe Grand Theft Auto, I would probably want the 40X experience. So I could just do all the shit that I joke about doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So the last one I really wish you watch Kingsman, and this has one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie. So this is actually the third movie in this franchise. Imagine you go to your tailor, right? But your tailor is not just a tailor. He's actually a secret MI6 CIA spy,
oh, I'm intrigued.
and they dress up in suits. It's like Bond but younger, and they are gentlemen. So the first one, the Kingsman's Secret Service, has the craziest fight scene ever. Like, this guy goes to a church, and he has a mind controlled, and like he just like 1 on 1,000,000, and he just kills them all. Like it's insane. Part two was a bit weak because the same guy, we thought he died, but he just got shot and lost his memory. Blah blah blah. So this movie is actually like a prequel. 50 years ago in the original World War, the first tailor opened up the Kingsman. So it's basically think of James Bond, but cooler, and they are secretly like butlers, and Channing Tatum was like the second one as the American version of it. It was cool, but those are the biggest movies of the month, and we know that Matrix is huge. Spider-Man is huge. So it's going to be, like I said, Spider-Man broke the records ever for.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm watching. And I know we're playing time left in the show, so I want to know, what have you watched this week? What are you watching this week?
I'm still trying to finish up Narcos, which I've had trouble getting around. So over the Thanksgiving break, I definitely got sidetracked. It was eventful here, as things could often be when you come from a Puerto Rican family around that time of the year.
I got a text. He said I got home like midnight.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'll tell you what, the next day I didn't end up. I should have probably watched more Narcos, but I was sucked into FIFA and
Yeah.
Battlefield, which I had just gotten. And Battlefield looks interesting, but it's there are elements of that are worth breaking down, but like I got to get deeper into it.
Yeah.
But in terms of watching right now, I'm trying to catch up on Narcos. I'm trying to catch up on Insecure. Randomly stumbling upon like old, or not very old, but like basketball highlights that YouTube keeps recommending me. Like today, they sort of put this on my we recommend you watch this on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was like a 61-point game that Eddie House had in college. And I'm like, okay, is this a joke? Because in high school, when I had the headband and the long socks, I had a teammate that said that, oh, I look like Eddie House, whatever. So like, I'm like, okay.
The Matrix guys, this is the Matrix. They knew something that was said years ago. This is the Matrix.
Yeah, so I'm like, what is going on here? Yeah, that would be my playing style was like some sort of combination between like Eddie House and Patrick Beverly, for full disclosure. Patrick Beverly when he was the better defender. Though.
Yeah.
Not as a joke. I got to tell you about that one time Patrick Beverly was dick to me, but we'll save that for a sports episode when I went to interview him before. But yeah, those is Narcos and Insecure. Those are my main focuses right now. And Narcos is like, I'm trying to finish that within the next week or so that we can continue revisiting that, because we're not doing that today.
My sister
and I'm holding us up.
Narcos Colombia, and I'm like, yes,
Yes.
So she just found out. She just watched the part where Pablo just died. So she's getting into the Cali cartel now.
Spoiler alert.
Everyone knows Pablo
I
Escobar
mean,
is
yeah.
dead.
Y'all should know Pablo Escobar's dead by now, right? Like it's
Dead,
it's like Elvis. Like if you saw
yeah.
an Elvis
Michael
documentary or
Jackson,
something.
these guys.
Yeah. Michael Jackson. When I heard about Michael Jackson's death, I was in a Burger King. That has nothing to do
was
with him.
great. I remember Michael Jackson, Whitney, Nipsey, and a couple weeks ago, Dolph. Like it's so crazy now.
The Nipsey one was really bad.
Yeah, that was a Sunday. No, well, this isn't a sports podcast, but the Kobe one. I was outside with my daughter, and I didn't have my phone. So I was outside with her, and I came inside. I opened up my phone, and I had like a million notifications. It was like,
oh no!
Yeah. I was like, what?
I was on Twitter, and I just saw people tweeting out no, just the word no. Yeah, and I was like, what's going on?
It was the day after LeBron passed him, and we just saw him at the game the night before. I was like, well, there's no way.
And then COVID happened. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like that broke the multiverse. Like Kobe was not supposed to go this early. Like I feel like Kobe's death just like opened up the gates of hell.
Yeah, we've definitely, this is taking a turn.
Yeah,
we're gonna have, yeah. It's as expected.
We gotta bring it back.
Yes.
So I'm watching second to my Marvel roots. Hawkeye dropped last week.
Okay, can you explain Hawkeye to me as somebody who's never, because I've been seeing a lot of people post about this.
Right.
Apparently it's Hawkeye, and there's another one that's out now.
No, just Hawkeye, I believe. I think
another show, not Marvel specifically, but there's another show that just came out. It's not Succession, because I've heard.
I've actually started Succession. I told you I was going to. I'm on episode 2.
Okay, I'm going to start Succession.
I started it.
But like I'm so behind. It's like Billions. I'm so behind where it's like I have to Billions. No, Billions is on my list because that sounds like some shit that I would get deep into.
Yeah.
Hentified is another. Hentified just came back with season 2, and Latino over here, he's going to watch it. I've seen season 1 though.
Every time you mention Hentified, I think of hentai. I'm like, what is Brian watching? Like every time you think about Hentified, my mind is saying hentai, which is like, anime porn. Like, what is Brian watching?
No. Hente, because this, it's a play on gentrified, but gente means people in Spanish. So it's hentified. You know what I'm saying? This is what the Bahamarican Boys are all about.
Yeah,
we learn about each other. You know what I'm saying?
So, speaking about anime, I actually do watch a lot of anime. And
I can't anymore.
Well, so
I used to watch Pokemon all the time, and then Ash used to piss me off because he used to catch all these fucking Pokemon and these fire ass ones, and then just let them go.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then in the game, and then
to find them, and then just let them go.
And then this might be something that we need to clip because this is gonna be a rant coming. But then, like, here's the thing: Ash Ketchum will catch all these fucking Pokemon and just let them go, and it would be mad fire. And then in the game, he would have like all these different. I'm like, yo, he didn't even catch this. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even keep this one. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even keep, like, when the fuck, how long did he really have Aerodactyl for? I used to get mad because when you played him in gold version, oh my God, he had like a Pikachu level 80 and all this shit. And I'm like,
happy you mentioned gold. I'm happy you mentioned gold.
Gold is my favorite.
I got it maybe 2 weeks before his birthday party. I went to the party for my friend, and it was stolen.
No.
For 15 years, this one of my friends, he denied that he took it. Graduated. There we go now.
Oh,
graduated from high school. This happened in like grade 1. Graduating in grade 12, he admitted to me, I stole the game. I stole it.
Oh my God. I would have. Oh my God. I haven't
forgotten about it.
I'm so mad right now. Like, just retroactively, and I'm not even involved. I'm just thinking about it. Gold is my favorite one because you actually that was the one where they combined Kanto and Johto for the first time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a Pokemon nerd when it comes to that shit. Like, when it comes to non-sport stuff. But yeah, I used to get tired of Ash because he used to be so nasty in the game and he'd be hard to beat. And then he in the TV anime, he used to get his ass whooped and then have all these dope ass Pokemon. And like just let him go and then lose all the time. And then in the game, he would have evolved forms of shit that he wouldn't even evolve. This shit was annoying, man. Ash was not
Did you watch Yu-Gi-Oh as well?
So okay, Pokemon had the better video games. Yu-Gi-Oh had the better anime. I like Yu-Gi-Oh show more. Well, I fell off after like
What
GX
about
because
what
it was
about
like a lot.
Digimon? Digimon.
Digimon I never got into.
It was
I
it,
sh-
it, it
it was
was
a lot. It was a lot of
they keep
mons and
getting
shit. Like
more and
this,
more and more and more and
I
more.
never got into Dragon Ball Z like that either. But it looked.
David, cut this one out. I was about to say that everyone in our age group started watching anime because of Dragon Ball Z and Tsunami.
We can start our game right now. You can use Dragon Ball Z. Like I never
I
really
had to
got
come
into
up
it
with
like
you. I had
that.
to bring evidence. I had to bring evidence of how Goku was the greatest of all time. No man, I got to go do research. I got to give you a PowerPoint of how you are bugging to get Dragon Ball Z. Wow, Brian, I had to question our friendship, but since you're gonna give me no name,
Yes.
I just watched House of Gucci over the weekend. Never really cared about fashion or whatever, but my daughter went to the playroom at a movie theater and I had 3 hours to kill. The movie was 3 hours long. So House of Gucci stars Lady Gaga and Adam Driver. You know Adam Driver as the meme I have to use, the guy from Star Wars who says more. He was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So basically, Gucci had like two brothers, and so Adam Driver is his son. He meets first of all, Gaga looks really good
Okay.
throughout the movie.
Okay.
Gaga looks
Okay.
amazing. The critics like panned the movie. So maybe Ridley Scott made like Alien and all that type of stuff. People said the movie was trash, but Gaga's acting was.
Okay.
And those,
I would take you.
Gaga looks amazing. So Gaga at this point, her father, let's Brian do it.
I ain't married yet, okay? So I can't.
Her father owns like a trucking business, but of course, this dude is like he's the heir of the Gucci throne. So she starts to follow him to get in a relationship. The father says, I don't want you to marry this he basically says about saying that this hood rat. So he cuts himself off, he leaves his family, goes with her and works with her, and they basically drive trucks for a living. But he gets sick. The uncle, who's played by Al Pacino, says that, details to the wife, bring him back to the fold. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the movie, but basically it's based on a true story. And remember, it's not spoiler if it's based on a true story. At the end of the day, the guy gets murdered by Lady Gaga's character because he never wanted to be a part of the business, but she pushed him, take over Gucci. He becomes a quadrillionaire. And to this day, the Gucci family has no shares in Gucci because of everything that happened. They had to sell the shares, and she went to like a psychic, or wasn't really a psychic, like a gypsy lady, and paid a hitman to kill him. So the father died, the uncle got bought out, and the son got murdered. So she got 25 years in jail. But she got out like about 5 years ago, and now she makes 1.5 billion a year from the Gucci. Because she's the last living like Gucci.
Huh.
And Gaga. I got
it.
Yeah.
So your pick is
House of Gucci.
House of Gucci today.
By Ridley Scott.
Which I've never heard of until you mentioned it. I've thought about like a bunch of different things about what to go with this week. And I want people to laugh, right? So I'm just going to go with a comedy special. And this is a comedy special that I don't think a lot of people have seen. Is very underrated. And it's especially if you're of a background that's similar to mine, you're going to find a lot of these jokes hilarious, right? So there's this is on Netflix, full transparency, because as we know, Netflix has all the great comedy specials, et cetera, or a lot of them. HBO's got some really good ones too, which I'll get to at another one of these. Cristela Alonso has a special on Netflix called Lower Classy. And it doesn't matter like if you're Latino or not, but especially if you're Latino, you're going to get a lot of the jokes and you're going to laugh your ass off. She is Latina, Mexican from Texas. I think it's actually filmed in San Antonio, which is one of the more diverse cities probably in the country. A lot of Mexicans there. A lot of our Mexican homies are out there in San Antonio. Shout out to them. I had a couple friends that actually just moved down there. I mean, I would have moved to Texas, but shout out to them. It is fucking hilarious. I'm not going to say much more. because it would just spoil it, and I'm not gonna go over here and retell jokes and shit like that. Just Cristela Alonso, Lower Classy. It's one of those things where like if I need a good 45 minutes, 50 minutes to just laugh my ass off straight, I'm gonna watch that and that's it. Because there are jokes about like, as the title would sort of hint at, right? Lower Classy. It's about like just working class sort of tales, which is some shit I could always get down with, right? And then from the Latina perspective, in her case, it's something that I could identify with in a roundabout way. So I think that that's something where I'm actually going to turn into that soon because we talk about all this serious shit. Because I was thinking about like, all right, what am I going to sort of endorse here, right? And it's been a lot of like
cocaine and drugs, and
you know what I mean, like actually violence and death or whatever. So for me, David, I'm calling on you because I want you to enjoy yourself and have a good laugh. So I need to know, where are you going for round 3 in this instance?
Oh man, this is round 3 of a heavyweight battle right here. You've got
Have you heard of either of these things, by the way?
No, I have no idea what either one of you talking about. I think House of Gucci's about Lady Gaga's a killer truck driver or something like that.
If you simplify it, yes. If you simplify it,
yes. Sidebar, Lady Gaga. Did you guys see the Tony Bennett special?
No.
Yeah,
I've heard about it though.
I've
listened to it. I've not watched it. I've listened to it.
Yeah, no, that was great. So definitely check that out if you can. That was really good. But 3 hours.
If a Grammy.
Oh, for that special?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh no, that's great. But 3 hours versus 45 minutes. So that's going to be maybe one of the deciding factors. But you know, you buried the lead, Timmy, with Al Pacino. Like you should have led with like Al Pacino is in this shit, you know, like because House of Gucci. You know, I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be fashion, and you know, you got Al Pacino, it
Floyd Mayweather and shit.
Oh man, the devil wears Prada, you know,
right?
Yeah. And I actually I thought it was like, oh, this is dark, like. People are dying.
Yeah.
But, you know, to me, obviously, you know, Timmy had a little bit more of an in-depth description. Brian kind of left things to the imagination. But, you know, I think I'm gonna go with the surprise. I'm gonna give this one to Timmy. You know, even though it's a 3 hour, because you know what, you really convinced me with your, you know, just the feeling that you had right here. It's just like I can tell that this meant a lot to you, Timmy. It was just, you know, you sincerely enjoyed the movie for the important storylines and everything else.
The gripping.
Listen, I don't want to know.
Oh my god! It took 6 episodes for us to go to hell. Just 6.
But I just the pure joy when you were describing this House of Gucci truck driver saga, you know, it got me right here, man. So you know, Timmy's 2-1 after round 1. You know, he's
all right. I'm coming with some smoke next week. That's it. Because I have a list, and I'm like not trying to go deep into the list. I'm coming with something heavy next week. I don't like being down 2-1. I'm 6-0 in fantasy basketball right now, and now I got fucking Bam out, so I'm worried about that. I ain't trying to lose something else.
Yeah, I gotta bring out your best next week. So.
Yeah. So I'd hate to end this show on such a sober note, but the reason why I brought up House Gucci was so Tom. Everyone knows who Tom Ford is, like the brand. Tom Ford was like the first creative director for Gucci. And as you all know, Virgil Abloh was the first was a black creative director for LMVH, well as Hennessy and Louis Vuitton, who sadly passed over the weekend. And this is the second in as much years we have a black creative who was battling cancer quietly, and you would never know. Like they were out living their life, they were in their art. So I was a huge Kanye West fan. So that's how I knew about Virgil. You know, basically Kanye always thought it was his fashion, and Virgil was like maybe like I wouldn't say it's like understudy, but like he did fashion with Kanye. You know, and one thing I never bought. I have to buy it off right now, But like he'd get a T-shirt and put like Off-White on it, and it cost like $1,000. But that's just thing. Like people love it.
Yeah.
But it's huge that he came up as a black man studying fashion in this era of like drugs and guns. No, he wanted to do fashion, and he was like the creative director of a big luxurious brand. That was huge. That was heavy. It's so sad. Like he had acquired battle with cancer for all these years, and he passed. And just last night, they had his last show. Like everybody was there, and I don't understand fashion, so I mean, but the people who there said it was amazing. So this one, like a moment of silence for Virgil Abloh. Rest in peace. Yep. And I have to crop something off right now, just to hang up. I'll find like something basketball wise. So PJ Tucker, and you talk about this in a first episode.
Tucker, that's right. Yeah.
Right before the day before Richard died, he said PJ like some crazy Off-White ones, and like people were like freaking out, like, oh my god, these cost so much money. And so like the Saturday before he passed, PJ Tucker and Tucker wore the next day like you will, and he wrote on them, you live forever. So,
yeah. Yeah.
So I mean,
and that's big for PJ Tucker, obviously, because if you follow him, like in sneaker world, PJ Tucker is one of those dudes.
Good, yeah.
And a few of Virgil's accomplishments, because like he was an artistic director of Louis Vuitton at one point as a black man, from 2018 until his death, I believe. Chief executive officer of Off-White, as you mentioned,
and Louis Vuitton bought 40% of his company.
Right. Which, Time Magazine 100 most influential people. He was among the 100 in 2018. And he also, in hip hop, which is a little more my world, and this is where I call one of them first, he designed some cover arts for like albums you recognize, Watch the Throne being one of them. And I think he did My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. So,
and that's one of my favorite albums of all time. Like,
a lot of people.
I have the vinyl, I have the CD. I've had the CD like 3 times. Yeah, as much as I played it and I got scrapped, like I love the album.
Yeah, so we wanted to mention that here, but rest in peace, Virgil, and we will remember his contributions because they were a lot. And look, trailblazing stuff, for people in his community and other people who aspire to get to that level. So
that's a big good life is so short that you can't waste even a day describing what someone thinks you can do versus doing what you can do. That's a big quote.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll end it there.